Do you think there is any hope of a ceasefire at this point?
Well, I certainly hope so. As you know, every time I've been on your show, that's one of the things I've been hoping for, to stop the killing of so many innocent people. Now that they're literally physically starving to death. So it's concerning that the Rafah gate has been shut down and all those trucks now are not able to get through. So something needs to happen pretty quick. But there's, these things are continuing to unfold here. And so because Israel went in there, that is a violation of the agreement with Egypt. And Egypt has been very upset about the fact that Israel has militarily gone into this area that's supposed to be basically a demilitarized zone. And just moments ago, I saw right before coming on the air here that Saudi Arabia is now released a statement through their foreign ministry that says that they want an international force to come in and stop the attack into Rafah. So they don't want it to happen, which is a pretty big development, I think.
Right. So, Colonel, we have Israeli tanks that have now entered Rafah. We have Egypt upset. We now have Saudi Arabia upset. What happens next? Do you think this will grow to a full-scale invasion, or will there be some type of intervention?
Well, there is a tremendous amount of pressure on the White House, on Israel itself, and now on these Arab regimes from their own populations, because that's what's driving a lot of this, because their populations are just livid with anger over what's happening to the Palestinian people in here. And so you already have at least the appearance that some JDAM weapons have been put on hold from the White House to Israel to try to put some pressure on them not to do this Rafah operation, but to agree to a ceasefire. And listen, one thing, it just breaks my heart when that woman you just interviewed there, or show that soundbite, they think that if Netanyahu finishes the job in Rafah, that will make them safe. But it won't. In fact, it won't have any impact on the security situation, because so many people keep getting killed that the rage and the anger among those who were surviving is way higher than it was. It's just Hamas. So whether they call them Hamas or anyone else, that threat is going to remain. So that needs to be the priority, is to taking care of the people and start getting that tamped down.
Right. That's so true, because the people who survive obviously will remember. If this does become a full-scale invasion, and we're talking about that, is there any way to prevent a full-scale humanitarian crisis?
I don't think there is, because Israel, number one, they gave this notification for the people of the certain part of Rafah to escalate or evacuate and go into certain areas. Well, there's not a lot of areas for them to go into, so that's not clear where they even can go. But the second thing is, there's no kind of screening issue. So the idea that all the Hamas fighters are just going to stay there while all the rest of the population leaves, making it easy to target them, seems pretty low to me. I mean, I imagine that most of them will also evacuate with the rest of the men, and you can't tell the difference between a normal Palestinian man and a Hamas fighter. They're indistinguishable. So all it's going to do is move them elsewhere. So I just don't see it solving the problem any way you look at it. But if they go in on the ground like this, it can't help but kill thousands more people.
And you talked about that shipment being on hold of weapons, of ammunition. Do you think the U.S. pressure on Israel, or pressure from any other world power, is or will have any impact on the prime minister's decisions?
I think that the pressure from President Biden is the only thing that could possibly limit Benjamin Netanyahu, because he has placed everything on this, and he's built it up at home. He has the backing of a significant portion of the Israeli society, frankly, and so he's getting pressure at home from people who don't want him to do this, from the U.S., who doesn't, from Egypt and Saudi Arabia. But he's also under a lot of domestic pressure to do it, to continue to go forward. And based on the past 6 or 7 months, I'm not sure that Netanyahu is going to give in to that pressure. He may do it no matter what.